Good morning, this is your Math Sensei, Mr. Spensei, and this is a warm-up on domain and range. So, first off, it doesn't ask this, but when I look at this very first one, I can sit there and go, you know what? It does not pass a vertical line test. This is not a function. We hit it, the line, when we drew a vertical line, we hit it at more than one place. In fact, I hit it at one, two, three, four places. So if I can do it at any one place, hit it more than once, it is not a function. So this is not a function. All right, please remember domain is the X values. So in this case, we'll do our X values in pink, and we're going to start off from left to right, and furthest to the left, we have -4. That -4 happens to be a solid mark, so we're going to put a solid right here and use a less than or equal to sign. Then we're going to go to +5. +5 goes here. And that's furthest to the right because its domain is left to right because this is the way the axis goes from left to right, and we're always drawing to the x-axis. So we're looking for this area right here. That's a solid, so it gets a less than or equal to. So in this case, we have -4 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5. Moving on to the range. All right, the range is the y values, and we start at the bottom, and our lowest range value happens to be at -3. And it's a hollow, so it just gets a less than sign. Okay? And then it goes all the way up, and we're drawing to the y-axis, and it goes all the way up to +5, and that's a solid. We connect those. And because it's a solid, they're less than or equal to. So our smallest value, -3, less than y, less than or equal to 5. Okay, the next one. The next one, by the way, this is all connected. If it's connected, it's continuous. We have individual points here. So this is discrete. Dots are discrete, connected is continuous. But when I draw a line here, I definitely see that I hit more than one spot. So this is not a function. All right, I don't have room to draw a T-chart, but I believe T-charts really help. So I'm going to do one off to the side. You may want to get a scratch sheet of paper to do that yourself. So my X values and my Y values. This first one happens to be at -5, 2. The next one is at -4, 2. Then we have a -2, -2. And we have a -2, +1. Oops, -2, +1. And what we do see right here is what we just said, that the x's repeat. So this is not a function. The x equals -2 repeats, so this is not a function. Then we go to 1, 2. Then we go to 2, 4. And then we go to 4, 2. All right, so we have our x's and our y's. Remember, domain is the x's. So my x values happen to be -5, -4. We don't write the repeat, so we just write it one time. And that's our domain. Our range, once again, we don't write the repeats, and we have to go in least to greatest. So our least one was -2. Check that one off. Then we have a 1. Check that off. I have a bunch of 2's. I only need to write it one time. So that gets rid of all these 2's. And the last thing is a 4. All right, so this was discrete, not discrete, but non-function because we hit twice here. The x repeated, and discrete, as I said, it was discrete. All right, the next one, is it a function or non-function? Well, when I draw the vertical line test, wherever I draw the line, I can only hit it one time. I can only hit the picture one time. So this is, in fact, a function. So in this case, we have a function because the x does not repeat and it passes the vertical line test. It asks us for the domain and for the range. Well, our domain is the x values. And so we'll start furthest to the left. Turns out furthest to the left is at -4, and we're drawing to the x-axis. So -4, that gets a circle, so that gets a less than symbol. And now we have an arrow. Be careful with the arrow. Where is this arrow going? Well, the arrow is going off the graph. And in the x direction, it's like, oh, it's continuing to go to the right. So that means in the x direction, it's going to positive infinity. Please remember, infinity always gets a less than symbol. So we have this. So we have -4 is less than x is less than positive infinity. However, we're not allowed to leave infinity, so we scratch it out. And now we have -4 is less than x, but the correct way to write this is x is greater than -4. So x is greater than -4. That's our answer. And if we look, hey, look, we marked all the values greater than -4. All right, the range. Well, the range, we started at the lowest value, and I guess I should draw a pink line right here. I'm not going to. All right, the range, we start at the lowest value, and our lowest value is here at -1. All right, so we're going to mark -1, and it's a solid, so this is a less than or equal to. Now, if I extend this arrow, it's going up, and it's going to go up into infinity. So basically, the y values are going to go to positive infinity. So I need to draw it this way. And remember, infinity always gets a less than symbol. So in this case, we have -1 less than or equal to y less than positive infinity. All right, we can't have infinity, so we mark that off. And now we have -1 is less than or equal to y, but we must have the variables on the left. So we're going to flip everything. Make sure you flip the sign as well. So we end up with y is greater than -1. And if we look at our drawing, it's like, hey, yeah, we went in the greater than direction because 0 is greater than -1, 1 is greater than -1, 2 is greater than -1. So everything was greater than -1, and we're going to infinity. All right. The next one, function or non-function. Well, when I draw a vertical line, I hit it in more than one place. This makes this a non-function. So this is a non-function. We're going to start at the part furthest to the left because we're going to do domain. And domain is the x value, so we're drawing furthest to the left and drawing to the x-axis. When we draw to the x-axis, we get to -5. And -5 happens to be a solid because it is not a hollow. So less than or equal to. And then we're going to go furthest to the right, which is at +5, which is less than or equal to. And we connect. All right, moving on. The range. Oh, excuse me. So I need to write that down. So we have -5 less than from here or equal to x because it's domain less than or equal to 5. All right, the range. We're starting at the lowest point. Well, the lowest point is at -8, and it's a hollow. And because it's a hollow, that means it gets the less than sign. And the highest value, and once again, we're drawing to, oops, I have a problem. I missed something. I messed up on the domain. You know what I missed, guys? And I bet y'all spotted it. I missed that this was an arrow. That means my x value is going to positive infinity. So this is no longer that greater than 5, and it's okay to make a mistake. Just go back and fix it, just like I'm trying to do here. I apologize for that. We're going to go to positive infinity, and infinities always get a less than. So now I have negative 5 less than or equal to x, because we can't have the infinity sign, but we can't be in this order. We have to flip it. So x has to be greater than or equal to negative 5. Remember, we flip the sign and we rewrite everything. We flip everything. Okay? All right. So back to the range. The range was at -8. That's the lowest value. So we circled it and we use the less than symbol. All right. So moving on, it also we have an arrow, so that's going up to positive infinity. So this is -8 less than y, because it's the range, less than positive infinity. But we know we can't have this, so we cross that out. And now we have -8 is less than y, but we have to have the variables on the left, so we have to flip it. So this is y is greater than -8, because everything flips, including the sign. All right, that's the warm up. I hope that helped. Apologize for the little mistake there, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.